What if I told you that Ferrari's true plan is not to win in 2025, but to create the greatest technical revolution in its history by 2026 with Hamilton as architect? Are you ready to know the best-kept secrets of the project that can return the prancing horse to eternal glory? Hamilton has been clear with the team. The 2026 car cannot repeat the conceptual or ergonomic errors of the SF24 or SF25. According to internal sources, one of his biggest emphases has been on the car's behavior in medium-speed corners, where Ferrari has historically been inconsistent. This has forced the technical department to completely review the aerodynamic approach. New concepts of lateral flow, internal mass redistribution, and suspension geometries that optimize both efficiency and handling are being explored. Additionally, the modular approach of Project 676 includes interchangeable cooling systems that will allow the car's configuration to be adjusted depending on the type of track or weather conditions. This is something that Mercedes mastered during the 2014 to 2020 period and that Ferrari seeks to replicate with its own solution. Simulations are being done with different radiator configurations, relocation of ERS units and flexible fairings, suggesting a more adaptable car less compromised by specific track conditions. Regarding the powertrain, Ferrari has opted for closer collaboration between its engine department in Maranello and the dynamic simulation unit in Fiorano. Hamilton has personally requested revisions to the MGUK's response in slow corners, where the Ferrari's power delivery remains abrupt and non-linear. The next regulation could eliminate or modify the MGUH, and that is generating a complete redesign of the energy maps. Ferrari wants to reach the first test in 2026 with a hybrid system that is not only powerful, but also completely integrated with the chassis from its initial design. This will be a key difference compared to other teams that adapt their designs to the new regulations on the fly. But the most innovative thing about Project 676 is not in what is visible. It's in the software. From the end of 2024, Ferrari hired engineers specializing in artificial intelligence applied to race simulation from the aerospace industry. They are developing a machine learning system that adjusts car parameters in real time based on wear patterns and race telemetry. Hamilton is well versed in these types of tools from his later years at Mercedes and is helping to shape a more intuitive interface for drivers, something that has historically been a weakness in Ferrari's systems. All this is happening away from the spotlight. As the 2025 season unfolds, Ferrari is already building the car that will define its next era. And Hamilton's figure is not simply that of a veteran driver who offers feedback. It is a strategic axis. He sits in development meetings as one of the technical team, proposes, contradicts, debates, and the team listens to it, because they understand that the combination of their knowledge with Ferrari's industrial capacity is a unique opportunity. They are not designing just to win. They are designing to dominate. What is happening inside Ferrari goes beyond what any official press release has told so far. It is not only a technical or sporting process. It is a silent, cultural, structural, and operational revolution, framed within the arrival of Lewis Hamilton. And it is precisely in this less visible dimension where his impact begins to shape the future of Maranello with the same intensity with which Michael Schumacher did years ago. The big difference is that now the environment is even more complex, with more rigid corporate structures, greater global media pressure, and rivals that operate with almost robotic efficiency. From his first day at the factory, Hamilton made it clear that he was not just here to drive. His first significant gesture was not on a track, but in a meeting room. During a closed-door session with the technical and management team, the British driver proposed changes in the way information was managed between engineers, pilots, and strategy heads. The meeting, which in other times would have been simply protocol, became a turning point. His direct style, based on real data and references from his years at Mercedes, bothered some, but lit a spark in others. One of his first requests was to eliminate excessive hierarchies that slowed down decision-making. At Ferrari, historically, proposals had to go through multiple levels of approval, resulting in strategic delays even in the middle of the season. Hamilton, with the backing of Frédéric Vasseur, promoted the creation of more autonomous work units, similar to the operating cells that Mercedes used to speed up its reactions during a Grand Prix weekend. This has allowed departments such as aerodynamics, simulation, or electronics to make immediate decisions in real time, without waiting for the approval of a central committee. Furthermore, a profound reform has begun in the culture of error. For years, Ferrari has been a team where the fear of failure was greater than the drive to innovate. Hamilton, accustomed to environments where error is dissected as a source of knowledge and not as a reason for punishment, has pushed for a new approach, rewarding initiative even when it does not produce immediate results. This has freed up the creativity of many young engineers who previously just followed the manual. And there is already evidence that this shift is starting to bear fruit, especially in areas like dynamic simulation and predictive analytics. On an interpersonal level, his role as a reference figure has been noted. Far from projecting a distant figure, Hamilton has demonstrated a much more horizontal attitude than many expected. Share lunch sessions with mechanics, listen to junior engineers, and spend time learning how people furthest from the paddock, such as logistics or graphic design staff, work. This has generated an unusual internal cohesion in Ferrari, a team that for years has been divided between its different technical and operational areas. There is now a sense of common project, of belonging, that has not been seen since the times of Jean Todt and Ross Brawn. Vasseur himself has commented, off camera, that Hamilton has forced the team to have uncomfortable but necessary conversations. Why do we keep doing this like this? What is the real reason behind that technical decision? Are we reacting or building? These are questions that were previously avoided due to the inertia of the status quo, and that are now asked almost daily. And the reason these questions are allowed is because Hamilton does not speak from theory. He speaks from experience, from the knowledge of what it takes to build a champion team on a sustained basis. This internal process is still in its early stages, but the signs are clear. Ferrari no longer behaves like a nostalgic brand trying to revive past glories. It is beginning to act as a modern, flexible, and ambitious organization. And Hamilton is the hinge between that glorious past and a future that, for the first time in a long time, is being designed from within, with order, vision, and technical leadership. What Ferrari is preparing for 2026 is not simply a new version of its car, but a structural break with the recent past. The keys to the new car will not only be in its speed, but in its adaptability, in its design philosophy, and above all, in its conceptual coherence with the type of driver that Lewis Hamilton represents. This will be the first Ferrari of the modern era built from the ground up around the demands of a world champion who has tested, shaped, and led winning cars in environments as diverse as McLaren and Mercedes. And that influence will be visible down to the smallest detail. One of the fundamental pillars will be the completely redesigned aerodynamic architecture. Ferrari, aware of its traditional dependence on the load generated by the floor of the car, is working on a more dynamic balance between load generated by the diffuser and that which can be provided by the front wing without compromising overall efficiency. This is being developed with a new real-time CFD, computational fluid dynamics, methodology, allowing micro-adjustments to be made in hours rather than weeks. Hamilton has been very specific in demanding a car that has progressive balance, that does not become unbalanced between corner entry and exit, and that allows it to maintain greater consistency over long stints, even when the compounds are at the wear limit. Another of the keys to the 2026 car will be its ability to adapt to different driving styles. Ferrari wants the car to not only be optimal for Hamilton, but also versatile enough for Leclerc if he remains with the team or any other driver. This is being achieved through a system of variable geometries in the front and rear suspension, capable of modifying the behavior of the car depending on the circuit. This is not an illegal active system, but rather a factory-time interchangeable configuration of arms and anchor points, optimized for the 24 races on the calendar. Artificial intelligence applied to predictive analysis of behavior in a simulator also comes into play here, another contribution brought to Maranello under the recommendation of Hamilton's technical environment. The engine will be another turning point. Ferrari wants its 2026 power unit to be optimized from the start for the new hybrid regulations. The elimination of the MGUH is expected, which will force a redesign of the energy recovery system. This is where the Italian team aims to innovate with a new generation of MGUK with lower friction loss and better charging efficiency under braking. The engine mapping will be developed with a more progressive torque delivery in mind, which is crucial to avoid losses of traction, one of the Achilles heels of the SF24 and SF25. Hamilton has emphasized this. A competitive car must not only be fast on the straight, it must be reliable under extreme conditions, such as wet starts, thermal degradation of tires, or aggressive changes of direction. Let me know in the comments what you think about all this.